Hey guys, so this week I've been playing Homefront, which if you don't know is by the same guys that did the Desert Combat mod for Battlefield 1942, which I personally loved to death, so I was excited to play this game. So, is it good? Is it bad? Were my dreams like crushed and destroyed by the soulless corporation that made a terrible game? Or is it a really great game that you should all go out and check out? Well, here's my opinion of Homefront. Homefront is a game that really tries to sell itself on its atmosphere and story. The game takes place 10 years into a future where North Korea has invaded most of the world, including America. America has essentially lost the war and is now being occupied. The game tries to put the story at the forefront of your mind. Right off the bat, you're arrested by the North Koreans, thrown on this bus, and you drive and see all these people being arrested and beaten and shot and executed, all just standing in the streets of America. It's clear that they really just want you to see why your character's fighting this war, why the North Koreans are bad, and all that stuff. After a couple of minutes of this awesome display of North Korean fascism, you're rescued from your prison transport and basically told, hey, now you're a fugitive, fight or die. Your character is given no choice but to fight, which kind of highlights some of the problems with the game. It's from this point onward that the game makes you feel like you're the third wheel. And although it seems like you're the only one that does any of the shooting and killing, you really are just the tail end of the story. It's not really about you. It's like, stand back. Whenever you have to go someplace, you always have to be the last one there. They will literally put invisible walls in your way so that all the other characters can go before you. Characters will push you out of the way of cover because their scripts tell them they're supposed to be in this cover and they don't really care where you're standing. And the most clear highlight of this is the doors. People joke a lot about how in first-person shooters, everyone has to kick in doors. No one can seem to just, open them like normal people. And with Homefront, it's like they decided to do it on purpose, almost. This game is littered with doors. Doors which you can't open, doors which you have to go through, doors that you have to wait for an NPC to come and kick open.
Did you even get that shit?
Stole it from the Koreans.
Oh, come on, open that door.
It wasn't supposed to happen like this.
I don't care. I don't care. Open the door. Open the door.
Let's go.
Finally, God. In the entirety of this game, there is one door you get to open. And it wouldn't be so bad if it just did it once or twice, but it literally does it all the time. You will literally go through sections where you will have to watch an NPC kick in 3 or 4 doors before you can get to the next fight. I don't mean to keep harping on the door thing, but it really highlights the problem with this game, in that you are not the protagonist of this game. You're a guy sitting there doing all the shooting while everyone else plays the game and forces you around. You're like one of those kids on those leashes at Disney World, you run it around but you can't go very far because your parents got that stupid leash on you like you're some dog. And in the single player, you're just dragged around like this throughout the entirety of it, except for in a few handfuls of moments where you actually get to go out on your own, which are actually, things get a lot more fun there. And as cool as the story concept might be, it does get in the way of the game, because you're sitting there, you're like, can I shoot people? No, we have to go through this dialogue first. Thankfully though, in the multiplayer, you don't have to deal with any of this. True to the developer's heritage, the multiplayer is all about sort of big open environments with lots of different paths you can go and tons of people all fighting over objectives. It's got all the class and leveling and upgrading weapons that you can imagine, and kill streaks and bombing people and vehicles and all the chaotic stuff that if you love these kinds of games, you'll love. It doesn't do anything original, but it does all the things that it's supposed to do. That's at least as far as I know. You see, I rented the game, and THQ decided that I'm not worth a damn, so I shouldn't have access to most of the online content. Perhaps there is some awesome new multiplayer mode that I would think is brilliant, and would totally go, oh my god, makes it totally worth buying, but I don't know, I certainly didn't see it. At the end of the day, I can't sugarcoat it. This game's not that great. It's not terrible, but not that great. It's, the single player, it feels like it was ripped from like 10 years ago and filled with all that stuff that I thought that they designed out of games, but they hadn't, apparently. And the multiplayer is fun if you're into like the big chaotic battlefields, which I love, but I don't have access to all the content because I didn't buy the game, I rented it, so I only get like half the content. So thanks THQ. In terms of just Whether or not you should get this game, I would say this is probably a pass. I think that there are better shooters coming out recently and in the future. I know Crysis 2 just came out, my review should be out next week. And I think just generally, it's not all that great. It's about a mediocre game. Maybe it's worth the experience of a rental, but definitely not worth a buy.